what was
Yeah.
the protection of the know-how?
Yeah, so the real question is what we can do in addition to the standard measures, like how to control access to the sensitive information. Okay, NDA, trust of the people, but I think you will never have 100% probability that all the tricks will remain here. I think all the know-how is being mainly transferred through the people. Me personally, I do not trust in patents. Patent is just the piece of paper. It's a nice publication. Okay, that's fine. We can get some point. But if there is no like a client to buy this patent, then the patent to me has actually zero value. I think the what is more important is the know-how, the recipe, the tricks, how to make the things. Actually, even in the patent, you don't disclose all the tricks. You just like describe maybe the principles, but you will never write like how many of what you put there. It's like with the Czech liquor, the Becherovka. There is no patent for the Becherovka, right? It's a big secret. I think it's somewhere in a treasure. So what can we do with this big secret? Well, it can be anytime transferred by people. So I think we can just work with the people and try to, in addition to some legal papers like disclosure, I think we can influence them. Like, please keep this as like a property of Highlights. I mean, property, something like which was generated here. Like maybe try to educate the people that it's not nice to steal. Okay, it's not nice to download the movies from internet. So in the same manner, it's not nice to transfer the ideas or some tricks from one place to another. But it can always happen, and I think it's not specific for Asia. I mean, my experience, because I am in the research since the early 90s. This is all around the world. Speaking about research, I cannot comment too much about the industrial world and the companies, but scientists all around the world, US, Europe, Asia, some of them are stealing ideas. This is not specific for Asian region. Maybe with some exception, yeah, we have some prejudice about the China. This is something like internal, but I just like use the self-control. But we have no collaboration with China yet. We do not have any like employee from this country, but actually it will change. Already I have some applicants, and I think without trying we will never move forward. So I think important is just try to control and then to influence the people. Just don't do the immoral behavior. But again, Highlights has no bad experience with this so far. I think our partners with whom we are collaborating, they have been still decent, and we have correct relationship. This is also by the fact that we are collaborating only with those we want to. Okay, we are not pushed to collaborate with somebody who is not nice. So before we sign or we set up some collaboration, there is always some meeting or some discussion and so on. So I would say it's same like with any relationship. If there is no chemistry between me and then the partner, well then there will be no MOU. So I think if we like each other, I think you can feel from the first few moments whether it can potentially work or not.
May I ask if you use some governmental support when you are kind of opening these new partnerships? Whether you are part of the missions or
Yeah.
from the government side, or because it seemed to me that it's based more on contacts from conferences and research.
You mean the funding, or?
Because the funding, I understood that it's from the European funds.
This is more complicated. Speaking about the highlights itself was fully funded, this infrastructure, from the structural funding, means the public money. But if you are asking about our collaborations, particularly with the Asia, then these are various resources. So we have some small like bilateral project with the Japan for academic. This is funded from here and from the Czech Academy of Sciences, and then some Japanese Society for Promotion of Science, for example. But then our Japanese partners, they have their own funding, national, which allows them to send their people here and to do some joint research. And we are doing contract research, and we have some collaborative projects with the Japanese company. Contract research is something what we have been doing in the past 2 or 3 years, and actually if I calculate the volume, 85% of the revenues from this contract research is from abroad, and actually maybe close to 100% from Japan. Only 15% in terms of the volume is from the Czech companies. So contract research means we get a task, we do it, well, we get paid, and then we just deliver the result. It's not collaboration. So this is like purely private funding. In addition to that, we also have quite recently so-called collaborative agreement, which is in Japan with one big company. We have a contract for several years for collaboration on some specific scientific topic, which is in our interest. It's in the interest of the company. And the beauty is that it's the company which is paying that, the Japanese company. And it's quite, maybe like a moderate size. And in the future we will be trying to enlarge the size of these like collaboration or collaborative research, and we will try to increase it. So governmental support, yes, but on our side it was mainly for the infrastructure, and then maybe some very moderate small governmental support for the mobility. But for the collaboration, it's mainly coming from them, from our the Far East partners. Mm-hmm. I'm not going for missions. Okay, I go for missions, but with my own funding. I'm not part of any mission like the Minister of Trade when he went to Japan. Okay, I was too busy, so I couldn't go, and I'm not sure whether it would be very useful for me, because anyway, I know my partners in Japan. These missions are maybe good if you want to attract some new clients, new customers, but in our field, I think I know already we identified already the partners. However, in the future it may help to maybe to convince some potential big partner. If you are part of such a mission, then it may give you a little bit more credit, so that then he is more willing to start some negotiation about the collaboration with you. But me personally, when I go for mission, I go for like a conference, and then I have several meetings with the prospective customers. So far I didn't take any opportunity for being in this like governmental or whatever mission.
Mm-hmm, yeah. May I ask, maybe may I come back to the themes, because you said that you have the Japanese students, Korean students, maybe Chinese students. So that means that you have like very multinational teams. Do you feel that there are any specifics leading these teams? Any positive, negative aspects of having such variability and diversity in the teams? That if there are any specifics that arise while you have these
Yeah, so
specific
yeah, so the highlights, the research team is like half Czech and half foreigners. This is quite significant percentage. I think you can hardly find it in any other research institution or some center around the Czech Republic. This is a lot. We didn't have a chance to do it in a different way. Simply, we needed the people with the right expertise, and so we had to look around. I think mainly positive things are that these people are coming from various parts of the world. They have various experiences, and I am really convinced that this is good for Highlands, because if we have only Germans or only Americans here, it will be too much single oriented. And we have here, okay, except Japanese, we have the Indians, and we have Italians and Polish and Russian and many other like Germans also. Yeah, but there is no like majority. So what I like is that. This may resemble some kind of like the melting pot, something what was missing in Czech Republic, at least in research until now, and we were trying to change it, and actually this is the result. If you go to United States, if you go to MIT or Caltech, well, you will see most of the students, PhD students in the lab, they are Indians, they are Chinese, they are Asians. Most of them are obviously the immigrants from all around the world. So on a smaller scale, within Highlands, we tried to do the same. So we made some announcements, and then I was traveling, and then we got reply. We were attractive for them, and then we selected the best one we thought. Negative things. Well, sometimes you make a wrong selection. This is clear. Maybe like over the period of 4 years, I would say that maybe like three guys, it was a wrong selection. But this is always happen. Wrong selection means that just the lifestyle here in the Czech Republic didn't fit them, or it was realized soon after their arrival that the real ability to conduct the research work is much lower than what was written in the CV and what could be revealed during some Skype interview. Okay, unless you put the guy in the lab to do some experiment, you will not know actually how handy he or she is, etc. So we had also some such I would say like negative experience, but I think this is normal. We cannot always have a 100% success rate for people. So I think this is more natural. And then difficulties. Nice thing is that the foreigners come. We have English, so there is a really like interaction of various cultures. If you go for around lunchtime, you may smell the curry in the kitchen area, because our Indian fellows, they are having the lunch with the hand, like the Indian style. Okay, so this is nice. But the difficulties are related to visa, because our foreigners, half of our foreigners is coming from European countries, so then everything is very easy, and the second half is from the third countries. So then we have an issue of the visa. issue of accommodation and all the paperwork with the foreign police, and this is bringing additional workload for us, for administration and communication and so on. So it's it's a bit more difficult, but it's possible, and I think we paved the road somehow, because I remember in 2011 when we started to hire our actually our Japanese colleagues. I'm sure he, or actually both of them, he, the professor, and he was the first one, I think, to come to the Czech embassy in Tokyo to asking for something called the scientific visa. There was a law like they can issue this so-called scientific visa within 2 months, not the standard 3 months, and with some limited number of documents, like a simplified procedure. So he went there, and then the Czech officers, they told him like, we don't know about any scientific visa, it doesn't exist. So then we had to ask some service agency called Euraccess, and they have contacts at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and so on. So they had to call the Czech embassy, well, in Tokyo, to explain them that there is something new, well, in the regulations, what allows to issue these scientific visa. So we have the same experience like in Japan. This was the very first one. Then the next one was in India, because before there were very few. Maybe the Professor Endo was maybe the first the researcher coming to Czech Republic for being employed regularly as a researcher, and simply they didn't know how to treat it. But now it's well established, so now it's kind of standard, because after the 4 or 5 years already the embassies now they know. Also, I think the government is more maybe eager to explain that the science and technology is very important. They are even now appointing some kind of this scientific attaché starting from Israel, and I'm sure that there will be one in Japan soon, in US, and maybe in few years there may be some in Korea and China. So this is just coming. So it was interesting. It made our life more difficult. Other cultural differences, we do not have a big problems, I think. Maybe me personally, I worried a little bit how to put the people together in the offices, because from some regions this might be sensitive, especially if the person is single. Okay. So I had to try to use my instinct and then to do it, but we didn't have some major like cultural shock problem or some conflicts between our people, because we are trying to work with the team regularly to make some relationships. That's why we are making some field trips, team building, some regular meetings here, in order to know each other, not as for work, but also like privately. So I think this can smooth some possible cultural differences. This can be sensitive, but it can be treated, and it's a lot of fun also.
You mentioned the word single. How many women do you have on the team, if I may ask?
Oh yeah, I think I don't have the statistics now in my head. Maybe I should ask. Ask people.
So that means you are not.
But I think if you ask about the gender balance, I think we are doing quite well and in a natural way. So in HILIS we have actually 4 research programs, and 2 of them are led by men, and then 2 by women. So this is very well balanced. And then within the teams, we have women scientists. Not speaking about the administrative support, but in research we have women. They are well integrated, and I cannot say the percentage, whether it's 20%. I don't know. I would have to check. But this percentage is, in my opinion, like visibly, if I look at the team, relatively high, especially considering we are physicists. So walk around and then you will see how many women, and some of them are very beautiful women. They are on the calendars. Okay, I will show you one of our women on the calendar next door, and this was achieved like in a natural way. We no measure like gender equality, etc. was taken, just like naturally, whether the person has the proper profile, whether the person is qualified to do the job here. This is one thing. And the second, whether what I always try to judge is whether the person can be well integrated within the team. Again, Highlights is not a one-man show. We don't want to have a house full of the maybe beautiful minds, but very much like self-oriented and just doing like their own tiny particular research. So we are like a team. So when I select the people, more important is like to judge whether the person is the good team member, because in the lab the teams, they have to interact and work together. The last thing you want is that somebody will take some measurement device and then will not return, or may even like damage because of some internal competition. So that's why I don't like to make some we evaluate the people annually, but the reason is but we never make any ranking. Employee of the week, employee of the month. So I really hate that, because for us much more important is that we are like one crew on the board, and then we have the common interest. So when we do this evaluation, it's more about trying to help them to find themselves, maybe to increase their qualification or some technical capabilities, to send them for some training and so on, but not really to say, okay, this one is the best. It doesn't mean that we do not appreciate the work. Of course, if somebody published some nice paper, then it's announced, but it means that, okay, he published, so he made a good job this month. Okay, this is it. Of course, the others, they did also nice job, but something like this. Okay, I will show you the woman on the calendar.
No, I'm just joking.
No? Okay.
Maybe I will have a last question, which will be related to China. You mentioned it once
Yes.
that you will be getting more students.